Hello everyone, this is Ali from Dar Arab. I'm talking to you right now from our corner or our booth at Baghdad Book Fair, and I'm talking to Socratiyat YouTube channel. And I would like to take a moment to thank him and his team for this coverage of our participation in Baghdad Book Fair. This video is going to be, I'm going to shed a light on the Dar Arab experience in publishing translated Arabic literature. Dar Arab is a publishing house that started back in 2017, and with one main mission. That mission is to translate the Arabic literature and introduce it into the English readership across the world. And we have started our first title was in 2020, even though we've started since 2017, but we were discovering the publishing industry in UK. That's where we started, and that's the nationality of or where the publishing house is registered. Anyways, we have translated so many titles, and today later on I'll take some time to also introduce some of these titles. But first, I want to say, why did we start this project? We started this project because of we needed to change the stereotypes about Arabs in the English-speaking countries or world, let's say, or the entire Western world, where the Arab is seen as like a guy with a lot of money and who's riding camel at some very dramatic scenarios. Anyways, so that's what has pushed us to translate our stories, to present our stories into the English readership, to tell them this is how we talk, this is how we say, this is how we live, and that like our stories, our life, our traditions, the entire thing, how we live, etc. All of that is said by literature. So that's one reason why we started. The other reason is basically in the Gulf countries and some other Arab countries, there are a lot of non-Arabic speaking expats, and specifically English speaking expats. And those expats have never heard our stories, have never read our literature. And that's why also we started translating Arabic literature. So Dar Arab is based in London, UK, and Muscat, Oman. And this project is managed from our offices in UK, but we also sell our books and titles across the entire Arab world. Now I'll introduce you to some of our unique titles that I believe everyone should read. And since the house is owned by Omani national, let's start by this. Crossing Embers is basically the very first Omani novel that was written by a female. In Arabic, it is طواف حيث الجمر by Badriya Shihi. So basically, this novel talks about a woman whose husband is from Zanzibar, a country or an area or a territory where Oman has ruled back in the 19th century. Basically, this story goes around the obstacles and challenges and how life, or let's say habits of the Omani society, how did they prevent that woman from traveling to meet her husband in Zanzibar. It also sheds a light on how racist or how racism could destroy families back at that time. Another title we have is The Secret of the Morisco. This is a title by Muhammad Al-Ajmi, translated into English by Christian James. This title sheds a light on basically the Moriscos, who are the Muslims who were forced to convert to Christianity after the fall of the Islamic State in Andalusia, which is Spain and Portugal today. This story also sheds a light on a very critical era in the world history. I'm specifically talking about the European Renaissance back in the 17th century, and also this novel features very important historical figures such as Descartes and others of the people who lived at that time, of the very prominent, let's say, people who lived at that time. And it also sheds a light on the philosophy philosophy and sciences that Arabs could have like gotten by then, and how European Renaissance got benefited from all of that, and how all of that helped into like the printing press to become with Arabic characters. Now let's talk about the first spring by Waddah Khanfar, political and strategic praxis of the Prophet of Islam sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is a book that is called Al-Rabi'ul Awwal in Arabic and written by Waddah Khanfar, translated into English by Aslam Farouk Ali. This book sheds a light on the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from a perspective that, like, from a political perspective, strategic perspective, to try to get this book to help us in understanding the mechanisms of the world of power in the world right now, and how can we as Muslims benefit from the seerah of the Prophet Muhammad in changing the power dynamics in the world right now. And this is our all-time bestseller in Dar Arab. It's available in Baghdad Book Fair right now. The Halva Maker. See how big is it? The Halva Maker is Al-Halawani by Reem Bassiouni. Dr. Reem Bassiouni has won Sheikh Zayed Literary Prize back in 2024, last year. On the Arabic version of this, Professor Roger Allen has translated this from Arabic into English. And this trilogy basically sheds a light on three, the lives of three leaders in the Fatimid era in Egypt, the Sicilian, who's Johar the Sicilian, and the Armenian, and the Kurdish, who's Salah ad-Din al-Ayyubi. And it also sheds a light on the habits inside the palace of ruling in Egypt at that era of time. Also, I have this title by Jan Dost, translated by Marlene Booth. This translation has won the Beit al-Ghasham Dar Arab International Translation Prize back in 2024. Safe Corridor, or Mamar Amin in Arabic. It sheds a light on how war affects, or like it tells us a story about war from the perspective of a 13-year-old child. Also, it's written in a magical reality way, where the boy with time gets turns into a piece of chalk. So this novella or novel is very rich with poetic, very rich with like poetic lyrics, lyrical poetic narration, and it's very strong and moving. And I bet anyone who reads this will deal with the heartbreak at some point. Now, if we're talking about heartbreaking, this is the most heartbreaking book in the world. This is the translation of Khara'it al-Tih by Buthayn al-Isa in Arabic. We translate Nada Faris translated it as Lost in Mecca into English. And this book sheds a light on a very sensitive subject in the Arab world. What happens in Mecca during Hajj? What are the illegal things that happen in there? Child kidnapping, like organ trafficking, yes, and child trafficking also. Basically, a wife and a husband from Kuwait travel to Mecca to do a Hajj pilgrim with their 7-year-old child who gets kidnapped. Through that story, Buthayn al-Isa sheds a light on a very sensitive topics in the Arab world, politically and socially sensitive topics. and she does that with like a very moving novel. It is like I would say for me when I read this one, like I'm not a dad yet, but this title, this book, made me be even more careful while thinking of being a dad or being a husband in the future. Today is September 12th. This book came out yesterday, 9/11, and we chose that date to release this book because it is partially related to 9/11. It talks about Afghanistan throughout the history. It's called The Rock of the Land, and its subtitle is The Battle Between Conquerors and Protectors in Afghanistan. This title sheds a light on how, let's say, the original story or the mainstream story is like Afghanistan is a country that is a hub for terrorism. Ahmed Validdin goes into Afghanistan while the American troops are leaving and figures out that claim and investigate that claim too through this memoir that's very wonderful and very special memoir by Ahmed Validdin, who is also a novelist. So you can feel the touches of the novelist in this book. Our last but not least, Mario and Abu al-Abbas by Dr. Reem Bassiouni, translated by Roger Allen. This book talks about the Italian architect Mario and Abu al-Abbas al-Mursi, who has a mosque after his name in Alexandria. And basically this book sheds a light on a spiritual friendship between the two that are separated actually by 2 centuries between them. However, this novel, it's a historical novel. It's based on true events. However, it shows in a wonderful way how a spiritual friendship could start between 2 strangers that are not related, but only related by the mosque in Alexandria. These are some of our titles, and again, I'm thankful for this opportunity from Sukratiyat channel to cover our titles, and visit us at F2 at Baghdad Book Fair. Thank you.